Morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Before we get going, make sure you've got something to write with, something to write on, so you can be successful today. And Isabella, I put this cat up here just for you. It's just peeking in to say Happy Thursday, but I'm sure you can read its mind, right? All right, let's get going. So today's focus, we're kind of combining everything that we've done so far this week, right? We've done fraction by whole number and whole number by fraction in terms of division. So now we are going to put them together. So this is the part, y'all, where you really have to be careful about what you're doing, right? So I want you to solve these two problems, and as you're solving them, I want you to remember, what are you starting with? So go ahead, pause the video, solve both of them, and then come back on when you're ready. So if we look at 4 divided by 1/5, what are we starting with, right? We're starting with 4 wholes. So when we divide by 1/5, we're trying to see, all right, how many groups of 1/5 are there in 4 wholes? So I'm going to take my 4 wholes and I'm going to split them into fifths. And I am learning to try to make this part a little quicker for you guys. So I've split my 4 wholes into fifths, right? And now I'm simply just going to count, okay, how many 1/5 are there in 4 wholes? So here I know that there's 5, and then 10, 15, 20. Right? So my answer here would be 20, not 1/20th. Okay? If you drew a hole and split it into fourths, and then split it into fifths, that is incorrect. Okay? We are starting with 4 holes, so we have to draw the 4 holes. All right? I am assuming that some of us made the mistake. That's okay. Don't get down on yourself. Learn from it, and then let's move on. So this next one, we're starting with how much? We're starting with 1/4. Okay? So I'm not going to have 4 holes because I'm not starting with 4. I have 1 hole, and I need to break it into fourths. Okay? And now what I need to do is split that 1/4 into 3 equal pieces. So my answer is this right here. 1/12. Not 12. 1/12. Okay? If I'm taking a fourth and splitting it up, it can't get to 12. If you're splitting up a fourth, it's going to get smaller, not bigger. All right? Hopefully that makes sense. What we're going to do, though, is I want you to look at this, right? Because this isn't really making sense to me and what I know about division. Okay, what I've learned up until this point about division. Whenever you divide, a number gets smaller, or the answer gets smaller, right? That's just how it works. So what in the dirt's going on here? I did 4 divided by 1/5. I got 20. That doesn't make any sense to me. It got bigger. We're dividing. Okay, so then maybe I think, all right, well, when I divide with fractions, the number gets bigger. Okay. 1/4 divided by 3 is 1/12. It didn't follow that rule I just came up with. I use a fraction here, but this time it gets smaller. I want you to think about that idea, right? Think about this question. Why, when we divide a fraction with fractions one way, we get an answer that's larger? But when we divide fractions the other way, we get an answer that's smaller. I want you to think about that. Do you have a reason why? Pause the video and seriously think about this one, okay? Okay, so you're going to have a chance later to discuss your reasoning. But I want you to try a couple more. So go ahead. Remember, think what we're starting. What are we starting with here? So pause the video, solve these two, And when you're ready, unpause them. So, this first one, I am starting with 1/6. So I'm going to break this into sixths. Remember, if it's not perfect, that's a-okay. All right, so now I have my sixths, and I need to split it into 5 pieces, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so then 1 piece. I took 1/6, split it into 5 pieces. It would be 1/30. Okay. Now, this one, I'm starting with 3 holes. So I'm going to draw 3 holes because that's how much I'm starting with. And then it wants to know, all right, how many 1/10ths are in 3 holes? Well, I'm not going to draw tenths, y'all. That would take a long time for me. But I know in one hole that there are 10 tenths. And in fact, in all of these, there are 10 tenths. So I'm going to add them together. My answer is going to be 30, right? Because there's 30 groups of 1/10 in 3 holes. Realize I'm not doing 30 over 10. I'm doing 30 because there's 30 1/10ths in here altogether. Okay? So for your activity today, you have your practice sheet, which is on Schoology. And then you also have a Flipgrid. I want you to go onto Flipgrid and explain that question we talked about by why when you divide with fractions one way, we get an answer that's larger, but when we use the fractions the other way, we get an answer that's smaller. So I want you to explain that. I give you a couple problems that you can use to help your explanation. But guys, a Flipgrid is something mandatory. Take the time and watch what your peers do as well after you have posted yours. Okay, maybe they've thought about it a little bit different, a little more a way that makes a little more sense to you. Okay, I have office hours today from 1 to 2. Please, guys, we're starting to combine our learning here. If you need help, if you're struggling, if you just want to check, come check in, say hi. Go ahead and come to office hours. And remember, today we have a full circle Zoom at 3 o'clock. So I hope to see you all there as well. Y'all, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy it. Get your work done before 3 so you can come to circle. Bye.